Don't let them take you out. Your spirit gotta stay focused. Can't go back living how I was, cause it's repulsive. I don't ask for much, this all I ever wanted. And not killing, die behind it, you can quote me. Yeah, these hoes for the streets, they ain't holy. I ain't pulling up the spiritual when devils kiss your boots. We ain't no cowards, please don't say what you gon' do. Or post something on the internet you think you gotta prove. Cause I got Karak Ice, I got Shia War, got Kasarpakai, I got Imawan, got Kabataban, I got Tazaba, got Kakamaima, got Karanyala, got Yaragabar, Tribe of Issachar, bring out Gobble War. Couple young men in this bitch with an olive oil. If you ain't in these ranks, then you out of order. It's a time for everything right now, it's time for war. And I'm still the same nigga when I'm not recording. I pull up, shoot from half like I'm Michael Jordan. I don't think they fit to join the Lord's army. I survived a Christian church, moral of the story. I done beat so many demons, I got war stories. Garment look so hardcore, look like I morphed on him. Appetite for battle, yeah, I'm war hungry. I ain't choose this life, the Lord chose me. I'm a certified priest and I don't take that lightly. How I feel about this shit, yeah, I can't describe it. I know they mad at me, cause I can't trust the white man. I gird up my loins and did something mighty. Yeah, what's done in private, it's gonna come to light. Speak the truth into these bones and watch them come to life. All my friends are dead, let loose all the plagues, yeah.
Hey, shalom, sir. Yahweh Shrigatha.
Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shabakathon.
What's going
on, warrior?
Tawab, sir, Tawab.
All right. All righty. Can y'all hear me good? Can everyone hear me good or hear me in Priest and Officer Dawada? If you can hear us good, give us a 1 in the chat. Give us a 1 in the chat if you can hear us good. Okay, we're getting a 1. We're getting 1s. Getting some 1s, okay. Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. So once again, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command Joe Yohana. And we're here to bring out the truth according to the Bible. And tonight's breakdown, scriptural, we're going into the part 2 of Don't Let Misery Gaslight You. And we're going to go into another section of this breakdown, and we're going to talk about the responsibility of making sure you have your own oil. You understand? That's what we're going to talk about. Making sure you have your own oil. That's very, very important. You understand? So now, matter of fact, let's go back to that parable, Dawada. Let's go back to that parable. It's important. And this breakdown, once again, it talks about, it symbolizes a marriage, but it's talking about the truth. Okay. Dawada, am I coming in choppy or am I good? Am I good on this end?
Visually, you choppy, but we can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
I know. Last time I think you just went out. Well, now you look like you're good now.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure still good with the audio and visual. Okay, audio and visual. Y'all got to bear with us. We trying something new on this with the StreamYard. Okay, so if you see anything that stands out to you that you might not be able to see or hear, just put it in the chat, please. Okay. So he's going to pull up that scripture. And somebody last time, I believe in the class, asked, how do you know or give an example of someone asking for your oil or you giving your oil? So we're going to go into that. We're going to go into that tonight. Okay. But first, I just want to preface this with the scripture. So we have something to build off of. Okay. All right. And if anybody have any questions from last class, you can bring it out. All right. So let's read this. All right. Go ahead. Preaching also.
Any particular place you want me to start in the end, or you want to start from verse 1?
Just start from the beginning. We're gonna go all the way down.
All right, sir. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
So once again, right? Christ in the Bible, Christ gives examples of what he used parables to give examples of what the kingdom of heaven is like. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like to say, a lot of people want to compare and make comparisons to what the kingdom of heaven is like and so forth, this place that we're going to dwell and there's going to be paradise, right? A lot of people want to do that. But Christ laid it out for the disciples and for us to know today. The followers of Christ, he's letting them know what the kingdom of heaven is like. So he's saying there's 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Once again, what's the setting? A wedding, which is a joyous occasion. Okay. 10 virgins are 10 young women that are married or marriageable age. In this case, they're unmarried. They're promised to the bridegroom. They had lamps. Go ahead.
Sir, verse 2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish.
Now, here's the thing. This is where we differentiate the story of who gets married and who don't get married. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. They all had the same opportunity. But one group was wise, one group was foolish. Keep going.
Verse 3. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
And the one that's foolish, they took their lamps, but took no oil with them. You understand? And what did we say the oil was? I want to see how many brothers and sisters were paying attention. I want you to answer it in the chat. I want to see. I don't want to give you all the answers. I want to see if you're paying attention in this class. What is the oil symbolic of in this parable? There you go. Sister Anya, Sister Quashab, Zia, right. Both of y'all, Sister Zakawatia, that's Zia. That's correct. That's correct. So we understand what that's right. Princess Aitara, that's right. Sister Zia, right? So now we understand that the oil is symbolic of zeal because the oil is what fuels, right? It's the fuel that's in a lamp that gives us light. But I also want brothers and sisters to understand that oil is also synonymous with faith. Okay? Yeah. Right? So it's zeal, but it's also synonymous with faith. Okay? Keep going, my brother.
God, sir. Verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
Right. Tarried meaning tarry is like you wait, like delay your coming. Right? Delay. Bridegroom delayed his coming. They all slumbered and slept. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ye out to meet him.
Right. So there was an announcement. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trim their lamps.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
Now, somebody in the last time, I forgot who it was, they said, give an example. Like, what does this mean? How can you give somebody your oil? What is that? Well, how can you give somebody your zeal? Right? How can you give somebody? And I think, and that was a good answer because it goes into what we're going to talk about tonight. Right? Remember, people who that's miserable, they will gaslight you. People who are not really trying to serve the Lord, they will gaslight you. They will want your oil, your zeal, right? For them to get the reward that they didn't prepare for. For them to get a reward that they were not ready to receive. So they said, give us, the foolish said to the wise, give us of your oil. Our lamp's gone out. They want to get married, right? So they're going to try to use the wise virgin's oil. Go ahead.
Verse 9. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves.
Uh-huh. You see, the wise saying, we can't give you our oil, because if we give you our oil, then guess what? It won't be enough for both of us. Go and buy from those that sell and get you some oil. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't give you ours. Go ahead.
And verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage. And the door was shut.
You see that? They missed that opportunity. Why? They were not prepared. They were not prepared. See, a lot of people, they want the reward, but they don't prepare. They don't prepare for the reward. And it's the same thing when it comes to zeal. You have to make sure you have zeal to endure. Those that had oil, guess what? They end up getting married. They end up getting what? The kingdom. You see? The other ones who didn't prepare, they tried to hurry up. They tried to rush this thing, hurry up. They weren't prepared. You know what I'm saying? You have to be ready, then you won't have to get ready. You understand? You stay ready, you don't have to get ready, brothers and sisters. And how do you get ready? How do you stay ready? Keep oil. Don't let your zeal go. Keep your faith. Don't let your faith go. They did. And the marriage door was shut. And once that door is shut, it's not going to open. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 11. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us.
Right. They asking who? The bridegroom, open up. Oh, we got the oil now. We got the oil, but it's too late now. Open to us. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not.
He said unto you, what?
I know you not.
You see that? He did not recognize them. You understand? Why did he say he didn't know them? Because they didn't have the oil to be prepared. This is important when we on this walk in this truth. You understand? This is important. Take me to Romans 14:5. I brought this out last time. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into We're going to get into this whole thing about somebody trying to take your oil. Someone trying to use your oil, your zeal. You understand? Go ahead and read that, my brother.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike.
So one man put value, he esteemed, look up the word esteem so y'all will know. One man esteemed one day above another. We're going to talk about some consistency here. Because consistency is key. Consistency is how you get the kingdom. Read that, Dawadah.
Esteemeth is a word that appears in the King James Bible dictionary and means high value or estimation, great regard, favorable opinion, founded on supposed worth.
All right, so this brother here favors one day above another. And then there's another one that every day he's consistent. This is every day is a day for to do this. Every day. You understand? You got some people who only want to do this when it's on certain days. Only want to do this on certain days. Only want to do this, when it's a barbecue. Only want to do this when it's Passover. You understand? That you ain't supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be consistent. But here's the thing. Keep reading, my brother.
Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
Let every man be fully persuaded where? In everybody else's mind.
In his own mind.
You understand? You got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. Your own mind. See that? And being fully persuaded in your own mind means you have your own oil. You understand? It means you have your own oil. So what is that saying? What is this teaching brothers to be? Now we're all in the ISUPK, right? There's a collective here, but there's individual responsibility that you have to serve the Lord. You can't look and say, well, this brother gonna believe for me. This sister's gonna believe for me. You have to be persuaded in your own mind. Do you understand? That is how you have oil for your lamp. That keeps you from having someone gaslight you. You understand? If you keep trying to pour into someone, I'm using the word pour in for a reason. I'm using the word pour for a reason. Pour into someone. A lot of people say that. I keep pouring into this person. And I don't get anything from that. I keep pouring in my time. I keep pouring in, all these things. I keep pouring in all these things, and I don't get it. I'm burning myself out. That's what goes on when you give everybody your oil. You're trying to persuade everybody. Do you understand? There's some people that's going to come into this truth, and I'm just keeping it real with you, brothers and sisters. Some people are only going to come in this truth to leech. And you're going to see them. You're going to see some people come in this truth, and they're going to leech. They only here for a certain time. You understand? They're not here for to serve the Lord. They're only here for a season. You understand? Why? Because they don't have enough faith. They don't have the zeal. They want to use yours. They want to hide behind the truth. They want to hide behind Commander General Yohana. They want to hide behind this brother. They want to hide behind this brother's rank. If Abraham couldn't hide behind the fig leaves, what makes you think you can hide behind the truth? What makes you think that men would not know your works? What makes you think? See, this is why we brought this scripture out about the virgins. Because when it got down to the final hour, when it got down to the time that the bridegroom was supposed to come, then we saw who were wise and who were foolish. Then we saw who had the zeal. See, you got some people who they want to fake it till you make it. You can't fake it with the Lord. You understand? And a lot of you brothers out there who may be camp leaders or overmen, you're going to see this. And I'm here to free you tonight, as General Muhammad would say. It's not your job. It's not, hear me good. It's not your job to force faith on any brother or sister in this school. It's not your job to force faith on them. That's not your burden. That's not your burden. Your burden ain't to try to force them to be in the truth or convince them, try to persuade them. You understand? You will burn yourself out trying to do that. That's you giving what? Your all. Somebody who don't want it, somebody, you always got to tell them, brother, you should stop drinking. Gave them the breakdowns, gave them, brother, you should stop doing this. You should stop doing this. And 1 minute they hear 1 minute, and then you got to keep, and after a while, you're going to get exhausted. And you know what you're going to find out? That they really don't want to change. Some people just don't want to change. They're only here for a season. You're going to see that. You're going to see it. And this is why this scripture is important. Now, of course, let's say the announcement they made in Christ is coming back. They ain't going to have time. Why? Because they didn't have enough order. They didn't have enough zeal. They didn't have enough faith. You understand? Take me to Luke chapter 17, verse 5. And I want to say this, man. Some people in the truth, like once again, they're only here for a time. Some people are only here until they get fired. Some people are only here until their wife leaves them. Some people are only here until their husband leaves them. And I'll be honest with you. Some people, and you'd be surprised at this, some people are only here until they get a wife. You know what I'm saying? Some people are only here until they get a wife. Some people are only here till they get a husband, or whatever the case may be. They're only here for that time, and then they leave. Go ahead, my brother. Read that scripture.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 5. And the apostle said unto the Lord, increase our faith.
Increase our what?
Increase our faith.
They wanted the Lord to increase what? Their all. They asked the Lord. You understand? Why? Because they knew they needed faith to what? Endure. They needed faith to be able to withstand a lot of these things. They understood. Increase our faith. That's what brothers and sisters should be asking the Lord to do when you feel like you're running out, you're running low, or you're running on fumes. Increase your faith. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the Lord said, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it shall obey thee.
You see that? You see that? That's what faith. If you have faith, that's what you will be able to do. And this is the thing, man. When you have faith and you activate that faith with what works, because faith without works is dead, of course, like the scriptures say. When you activate that, you will see things materialize in front of your very eyes when you do that. You're going to see problems that were in your way start to disappear. Why? Because you have faith. You're going to see issues that you wouldn't have the answers to. You're going to start to have the answers to. But you have to ask the Lord to increase your faith. You understand? That's the time that we in. If you low on oil right now, now is the time to get your oil. Don't wait. Don't wait until, because you don't know when the bridegroom gonna come. You don't know when your Howard Shah gonna come back. You understand? He said he gonna come back at an unexpected time. Huh? You don't know when he gonna come back. But now is the time you should be asking the Lord to increase your faith, increase your zeal, and start getting in the work fully. You understand? Take me to 2nd Ezra chapter 7. 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 6. We'll go from 6 to 10. And this is important. And this is for men and women. You're going to have to endure some things, man. But that oil is going to help you endure the darkness. You know what I'm saying? The atmosphere of darkness, all the uncertainty, all the trials and tribulations. You understand? You need oil to be able to light your way. You understand? You need the understanding of the truth. You need the law, statutes, and commandments. And you need to compound that with work. Compound that with your works. You understand? The foolish ones couldn't sit there and try to, they wanted to try to take the wise ones oil. You understand? And both of them would have been out of a marriage. Both of them would have missed the marriage. You understand? So preparation is key. Self-preparation is key. Let me put it like that. Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 6, my brother. Pay attention to this.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
Right. This is talking about, once again, another example of the kingdom of heaven. So there is another thing. A city is builded upon a broad field, and it's full of all good things. Go ahead.
Verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow.
Hold on. The entrance of his what?
Is narrow.
Y'all know what narrow is. Narrow is not wide. It's the opposite of broad, right? It's narrow. You understand? It's very small. It's very small pathway. Keep going.
And is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water.
So imagine this. All right, let's paint this picture here. You looking and you see a city that, this city here is, it's sitting on a broad area, right? And it's a beautiful city. But the only way to get through it is a narrow path. And on that path, it's fire on one side and deep water on the next. You understand? It's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place to fall. So what is this? So what is it? Can you just get to this city any kind of way? You can't get to this city any kind of way. You have to do what? You have to make sure you're walking on a narrow path, because if you deviate, you can fall in the fire that's on the right hand, or you can drown on the left hand. This is biblical. This is biblical. Keep going.
Verse 8. And and one only path between them both. Even between the fire and the water.
So you see this, just think about it. You see it's only a one path between them. This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. So when you know that you're trying to get to this city, you have to be careful how you walk. You can't sit there and say, well, you know what? I'm going to go this way. You're going to fall. It's dangerous to get there. But if you can make it there, oh, man, it's going to be a beautiful day. Keep going. But check this out. Go ahead.
So small that there could be one man go there at once.
There can be two men go at once.
One man go there at once.
Three men go there at once.
One man go there at once.
One man. So what does that say about the path? That's right, Nazam. Fine line to walk. That one man, you can't use somebody else to get there. It's only narrow enough for one person to go at a time. So what is that saying? That you are individually responsible on this path. You understand that? You try to go with more than one person, guess what? Somebody gonna fall. So you got to go one man at a time. And that is what I'm telling you about being persuaded in your own mind. That's what I'm telling you about having your own oil. You need your own oil because you're going to have to, there's only one man can go at one time to get to this place. So what is this talking about, man? Self-accountability. Once again, you got to understand this, man. We talking about the oil now. I want to get into individual responsibility. You understand? You got brothers that's coming to this truth. Everybody get the truth. But everybody ain't got the same zeal. Everybody ain't got the same oil. Better make sure you got your oil because you going to have to be accountable for you. You understand? This is the first step. First step is coming into the truth. The next step is putting the truth in you. You understand? Where we at? What verse we at?
We just finished verse 8.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
You see that? You see how the Lord put this, man? How you gonna receive something great if you don't pass the danger? You understand? How you gonna receive? We live in a world now. Everybody wants something for nothing. That's the world we live in now. You think you just supposed to get the kingdom of heaven because you got dipped in water. Because you got baptized, quote unquote. No, you have to go through the persecution. You have to go through the danger. You have to go through being hated. That's what we go through in the ISUPK. But there's some who can't, they may come into this school, they can't go through it. And you're going to see it. When times get hard, now you know what, let me just turn around. And they're not going to get it. They're not going to get the inheritance because they didn't want to pass through the danger. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. So there's an individual responsibility in this body when it comes to salvation. And it requires you to have your own faith, your own zeal, your own oil. See that? You can't send another man there to go get the inheritance for you. You got to go yourself. You understand that? Keep going. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
And why is he saying it's Israel's portion? Because the kingdom of heaven is for Israel. But only a few in the nation is going to be able to inherit that. Why? Because everybody's not willing to go through the danger. Everybody's not willing to be convinced in their own, persuaded in their own mind. Everybody is not going to have enough oil. You understand? Some people misery going to gaslight you. They're going to gaslight you out of the kingdom. It's going to gaslight you out of a crown. It's going to gaslight you out of the kingdom of heaven. You understand? And you got to be wise enough to know that you better make sure you got enough oil for you. That's your responsibility. You can't blame another man for you not having enough oil, brother. You can't blame another man for you not having enough oil, sister. That ain't how it works. You see that? You can't blame that. You can't like it don't work like that up in here. You understand? What verse we on, my brother?
We just finished verse 10.
Okay. Take me to Luke chapter 19, verse 12. Luke 19 and 12. We're going to go there. We're going to get into some individual accountability. That's what we about to get into. You understand? Individual accountability. Now, Luke chapter 19, verse 12. It's another example. And notice that, look, there's a reoccurring theme that keeps happening here. Always a nobleman or a bridegroom or somebody of extreme high value that went away and is making a return. Y'all see that? So now we're dealing with the parable of the penny. Okay. Once again, similar to what happened with the lamps. Everybody had lamps. In this case, everybody has a penny. Go ahead, my brother.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return.
And who is this? Who is this relating to? Our King Yahushua. Nobleman, noble meaning like a man of high stature, nobility. You know what I'm saying? Highborn. Went into a far country to receive a kingdom for himself. And he's coming back to return. Okay? So here we go. Let's get it.
Verse 13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds.
Here we go. 10. He called his 10 servants, delivered them. Everybody got a pound. Everybody had got a penny. And he said, what?
He said unto them, occupy till I come.
What does it mean? Anyone know what it means to occupy? What does it mean to occupy? He said, occupy until I come. Does it mean to just stand there? Hold a penny? Think about what anybody look up the word occupy.
It's the definition of occupy. It says to reside or have one's place of business.
Mm-hmm. See that? There we go. That's what I wanted right there. Business. Huh? Business is not idle. Business is not idle. Business is busy. That's where you get the word business from. See that? Occupy until I return, meaning stay busy. Stay busy. You understand? Go ahead.
Kind of the one con. Verse 14. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
And that's Israel. You understand? They hated him. They hate. That's right, Sister Costa. Putting in work. There you go. Occupying. You understand? Business is busy. Business is not lazy. Business is active. That's what business is. Right? So his citizens hated him and said, we don't want this man to rule over us. And that's how they feel about Christ. That's how a lot of our people feel about Christ. They don't want Christ to reign over them. Yet they say they have a personal relationship with the Most High. They don't want him to reign over us. They want him to be wicked and evil. Keep going.
Verse 15. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him.
Now, hold on. Now, you're going to have to give an account. He didn't already receive the kingdom, right? He became, now this is his second coming. He's coming back. He left those men with something. He left his servants with something. He gave everybody a pound. He didn't give one more of a pound than another. He didn't give one pound, one 2 pounds, the other 3 pounds. He was fair about it. He gave everyone an equal amount. Huh? And he told them, go ahead and get busy until I return. You understand? I want you to flip what I just gave you. Since you want, see, he says, you know, we black. Flip this peep game. I want you to flip what I'm giving you is valuable. Take it and increase it. Keep going.
Kind of the one con, sir. To whom, and then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
You see that? And listen, for those who understand money, and Christ always put it in terms where he put it in terms where people could understand what he was saying. He's an excellent teacher. He's a master teacher when it comes to relaying a message. You understand? For those that know about money and buying and selling and trading, they would understand this parable to a T. So he's saying he want to know how much every man has gained by trading. Look up the word trading if you can, Dawada.
Tell them what comes, sir.
He gave the money. Now he want to know. He want to know how much you gain. And notice the key word, gain. See that? Gain. How much have you gained? Trading. Off of what I have given you. Go ahead.
Trading says the action of engaging in trade, and trade means buy and sell goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
Buy or sell, be bought and sold at a specific price, exchange for something else, typically as a commercial transaction.
Right. So this, just think of like the stock market. Just think of you invest, and you got to understand, like you taking that penny and you investing it. You're putting it into something because your master wants a return. That's the type of man we serve. We serve a king who wants a return on his investment. That's who we serve. You understand? Keep going.
Another one comes, sir. Verse 16. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds.
Thy pound hath gained. So, and notice this. Hold on. Let me just pay attention to this. He said, thy pound. Who did the pound belong to? Did it belong to the servants or belong to the master, the nobleman? Who did the pound belong to? This servant recognized that this pound was not his. He was fronted this. Huh? Think of the pound as the truth. Think of the pound as the truth. Have you been taught the truth? Have you been given the breakdowns? Have you been taught about brotherhood and sisterhood? Have you been taught about the law, statutes, and commandments? Have you been taught your identity? Have you been reacclimated into your culture? Have you not been given the understanding of life and death according to the scriptures? Well, guess what? You've been given a pound. Yes, you have. You've been given a pound. What are you doing with it? That's the question. Are you just sitting around saying I'm a Hebrew Israelite? Because this brother, he ain't do that. He went out and traded. He went out and invested. Let me put this money here. Let me put this truth here. Let me see is it going to give me a return? Let me flip this. I put it over here. I went to this city. I flipped it. I got more brothers and sisters. Put more knowledge out. I'm influencing black people when it comes to this election. Waking people up about who we are, how we supposed to deal, how we supposed to operate, what we not supposed to take part in. I'm out here trading this truth, buying and trading. You know what I'm saying? I'm flipping this truth. What? To gain 10 pounds for who? It's for him, the one that gave me this truth. You understand? I'll tell you something. You got a lot of people who think the truth or the pound belongs to them, but it belongs to the Lord. That's who it belongs to. He gave it to us for us to increase it. This brother here got 10 pounds. He took 1 pound and made 10. Go ahead.
Con, sir. Verse 17. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities.
You see that? Because he did such a good job, he got a city for each pound that he got. And you know what it means to rule over a city, man? Can you imagine how much power that is? You ruling over 10 cities, man. Because what? He was busy when it came to the Lord's business. He wasn't idle. He did what he was supposed to do. And this was his reward. Read that part again.
Con, sir. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little.
Let's stop right there. Because thou hast been what?
Thou hast been faithful.
Faithful. Faithful, not faithless. This brother was full. Somebody help me out now. He was full of faith. He was full of zeal. He was full of oil. He had faith. He was full of faith. And he was able to accomplish this. Why? Because of his faith. He was able to increase what the Lord has gave him because of his faith. And notice this, thou hast been faithful in what? Dawadah? In what?
In very little.
In very much?
In a very little.
In a whole lot.
In a very little.
Faith of a mustard seed. Faith of a mustard seed. He had little. All he had was 1 penny. But this brother here, he got busy. All I got is 1 penny. Now he could have lost it. But because he was faithful, man, let me get busy. Let me get busy. And because he got busy when he had faith, guess what? He increased. He didn't let misery gaslight him. He didn't say, man, all I got is a penny. I got a penny and I'm going to turn it into many. You understand? That's what he did. Why did he do it? Because he had faith. Faith without works is what? Dead. He took that and increased it. And the Lord rewarded him for his work over little. Some people have much and they don't do nothing with it. They don't do shit with it. Excuse my language. Some people, you can give them everything and they will produce nothing. You've seen people like that in the world. You've seen people that were born with a silver spoon in their mouth and they do nothing because they were entitled or they cared about a title. And then you have someone who has very little and they work their butt off. You understand? And they earn their keep. They earn their keep. Keep going.
Come on, sir. Verse 18. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds.
Right. This other brother, he came. And notice this. What's the reoccurring thing? Everybody has to give their account. Everybody has to give their report on what they've done. And it's the same thing in the ISUPK. That's why the generals are preparing us for this. We have to give a report on what we've done, what our record is. How has you increased the pound? You understand? All these things are being prepared now. You understand? So if you slacking now, what you think you're gonna do when Christ come back? You understand? This brother here, his penny gained 5 pounds. Keep going.
Verse 19. And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities.
And listen, man, check this, man. And he over 5. That's still, but 1 city is a lot. Over 5 cities. That means he's ruling over 5 cities, man. I mean, come on, man. Keep going.
Verse 20. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound.
Now here we go with this. Here we go with this right here. Now he gonna come up there. Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have. Say it again, Dawadah, please.
Okay, sir. Here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
Now here we go. Now I want y'all to understand. You got to remember, the other men just gave their report. Now this person here thinks they did something. You gotta understand the mindset of this person. Man, you know what? Man, here go your pound right here, man. You gave it. I'm giving it back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's in a napkin. I had it laid up in a napkin, right? I didn't go do what they did. I just let it sit here. Huh? I just let it sit here, and I just said, you know, hey, I'm an Israelite. I keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I don't, you know, I'm not going to camp. I'm not going to camp. I'm holding napkin here. I'm just, you know, I got to pay my time. I got the t-shirt. I got the t-shirt. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna just, you know, I'm not gonna go out there and get, that's too dangerous. I'm not, you know, me going to camp, me doing all that. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna follow the orders. I'm gonna just come in occasionally with my penny and just wrap it up and so I keep it, you know. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because to me that feel right. Wrong. Now you about to see the response of the nobleman that gave him the penny, that gave him the pound. Keep going.
Verse 21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow.
And now he's going to try to make some excuse. The reason I didn't do nothing with your penny because I feared you. Huh? Now he wanted to give him, he wanted to, how can I do? He wanted to flatter him. You know, I feared you because thou art austere man. You take up what you don't lay down and you reap that you didn't sow. So that's why I kept the penny. You understand? Because I didn't want to lose. Want to lose the penny. I just kept it. Listen to the response. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee.
Out of thy own mouth I will do what?
Judge thee.
That's cold. Boy, that's cold. You understand? And that is how Yahweh Shah is. Out of your own mouth. You're going to have many. That's why we say in the ISUPK, what do we say in the ISUPK, Davida? What do we say when it comes to excuses?
Oh, no cowards, no excuses.
No cowards, no excuses. So you can't give the Lord an excuse. A reason is different from an excuse. An excuse is inexcusable. Out of your own mouth, I'm going to judge you. Thou what? Thou what, servant?
Thou, so like it, sir. Thou wicked servant.
He called him a wicked servant. You understand? That's what he called him. A wicked servant. Bear with me 1 second. You understand? He didn't call him, and notice the one that did good, he called him a faithful servant. He called him a good servant. You understand? This person here, what did they lack? I want to see if y'all following me. What did they lack? What did this person lack? Since we on the topic. There's 3 things and they're all simultaneously connected. There's 3 things that this person lacked. 3 things. Somebody give it to me. This is important. You want to turn your Makolat said faith. That's correct. Yaquawam says zeal. That's correct. But give me the one. That's Nazam, correct. But there's one more. There's one more that I need to see. What Nazam, right? Or there you go. Or you understand? He needed that zeal. He needed that faith. And if we're gonna tie it into the scripture, the all, he didn't have what it took. He had the pound, but it's not how little you get or how small something the Lord gives you. It's what you do with it. You understand? Some people, you may be in a city where it's only one. We may be the only brother in that city, but you got that pound. It's time to find out how to flip it. It's time to get the time for the Lord to be glorified. It's time for what the Lord what He gave you to be increased. You understand? Can you imagine the type of obstacles that you got to go through with 1 penny, turning that into 10 pennies, 10 pounds? Huh? There's some obstacles. You may lose it all. It's a possibility you may have nothing when He returns, but faith, but zeal, but the oil. You understand? That's what you're going to need in order to increase. That's what you're going to need in order to build this truth up. You understand? That's what you're going to need to help fix this nation. You're going to need faith. You're going to need works, zeal. And since we're on the topic of gaslighting, you're going to need oil. So this was a wicked servant. You understand? And he tried to give this excuse to the nobleman, which most people do when they're incompetent. We can't be incompetent when it comes to the truth. We have to be accountable. He thought that he was going to get rewarded just for holding on to 1 penny, 1 pound. Go ahead, my brother.
On the 1 con, sir. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
He said, that's true. You knew that I was this kind of man, right? You know I'm an austere, I'm a disciplined man. You know what I'm saying? What you said is true about me. My reputation precedes me. Yes, I take up what I don't lay down, and I reap what I didn't sow. You understand? Because Christ is a boss.
Right.
You understand? That's how, what this is letting you know about Christ is his MO. You understand? What does it let you know about him? He's a ruler. He's a king. So if you take money from him, you take something from him and he leave it and tell you to occupy until I return, he left you with instructions. He didn't just say, put it in a napkin.
Right.
Meaning, get busy with this. I'm leaving you, each one of y'all. I'm giving each one of y'all something. Get busy with it now. I'll be back. You understand? Do this until I come back. Occupy until I return. Go ahead, my brother. Read on.
Another 1 con, sir. Verse 23. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury.
Ooh, man, that's cold. Y'all feel that for a minute, man? He said, well, why you didn't put the money into the bank? Look up that word usury. That at my coming, I might have required mine own with usury. What is usury?
Usury means lending money at exorbitant interest rates.
Come on, man. He wanted interest and say exorbitant interest rates. You know what that means? That means he wanted interest for what he loaned you. And I'm going to tell you how deep this gets. It's against the scriptures to practice usury. Feel that for a moment.
God, sir.
You feel like you gotta understand, like, meaning you can't, it's unlawful for a brother to lend a brother money and then charge him usury. But he's still lawful because why? That penny belonged to him. And that penny is what? The truth. Y'all feel that for a moment. You want to talk about some real gangsters, some real hardcore, how, this cat here is about it. You understand? He said, man, I could have required it. Read that scripture again, man. Listen how heavy he brought it out. He said, you did better putting it in the bank. If you put it in the bank, it's going to have some kind of interest.
Right.
Read it again.
Verse 23, wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury.
I might have required my own with usury. I wanted interest. Huh? I didn't want excuses. I want an interest for what I gave you. I gave you the truth. What have you done with it? All this time? So you ain't been working.
Right.
You've been chilling. That's what you've been doing. You ain't been doing nothing with what I gave you. That's basically what he's telling them. I gave you the truth, right? I gave every one of you the truth. Everybody did something but you. And you're going to sit there and try to give me accolades. I'm going to judge you out your own mouth. I want a usury for what I gave you. I want an interest for what I gave you. And I gave you something that was precious. And it belonged to me, not you. Keep going, my brother.
Come, sir. Verse 24. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound.
Now hold up. Time out. Now everybody sitting there, once again, everybody had to give an account. They standing before the nobleman. He already got the kingdom, right? He coming back to collect. That's what Yahweh Shai, the one you know as Jesus Christ, is coming back to do. He's coming back to collect. And if you are in this truth, you better get busy. You better get busy like yesterday. You better get busy like 2,000 years ago. You better get busy. All these things going on. And think about all the things that's going on. And you just sitting back doing shit. Excuse my language. Nothing. Huh? You sitting back doing nothing. You ain't trying to build no camp. You ain't trying to go to camp. You ain't trying to make flyers. You ain't trying to, all you want to do is just party and sit on your behind. It ain't going to happen in here, especially on my watch. You understand? It's not going to happen. Everybody has a penny. The nobleman was fair. He was just. He didn't give one more than the other and say you should have had more than him. He gave everybody an equal amount. Huh? Everybody had a lamp. It's your job to make sure you get the oil. So he told them that stood by, go ahead, Dawah.
Come, sir. Take from him the pound and give it to him that had 10 pounds.
Take from him that pound that he had, take it from him and give it to the one that had 10 pounds. Give it to the one who know what to do with it. Give it to the one that know how to increase. Give it to the one that's more worthy. You see that? Now, somebody would say, well, why he didn't give him one city for just keeping that 1 pound? Because this person did not value what the Lord gave him. He did not value the truth. He did not want to see it increase. He can care less about it. He thought he was going to get some accolades just by keeping it in a napkin. Now he has nothing. Keep going, Dawada. What verse we on?
Are we moving on to 25 now?
Go ahead.
Verse 25. And they said unto him, Lord, he have 10 pounds.
And they tried the servant, like, well, hold on, Lord, hold on. You know, man, he already got 10 pounds, man. Like, you know, they trying to see what's going on. Like, Lord, you know, he already got 10, man. You know, they trying to figure out what's going on, you know, why he ain't, you know, because they probably saying, damn, you know, he ain't, you know, he still got the penny. That ain't good enough. That ain't good enough when you're working for somebody like Yahweh Shah. You understand? He didn't have to give us nothing. It was a blessing and a miracle that he gave us this truth.
Right.
That in this captivity, that we would know who we are, that we would know who our God is, that we would be reacclimated into our holy tongue, that we would know the things and the mysteries of this place and the mysteries of life and the dark sayings and the proverbs and all the things, our culture, how to live, how to eat, how to cohabitate, how to have a society, a civilized way of life. And you take that and you cover it up and you don't go increase it. You don't go trading and increasing, investing what the Lord has gave you. You don't invest it into nothing. See, a lot of people think you can hide behind someone else's work. I got news for you. You can't. You can't take credit for another man's pound. You understand that? You cannot take credit for another man's pound. You have to give an account for what you produce. Hence accountability. You have to increase it because it don't belong to you. You understand? That's what you got to understand. What verse we on, Dawada?
We just finished 25.
Take me to verse 26 if you can.
Sir. Verse 26. For I say unto you that unto every one which have shall be given, and from him that have not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him.
Come on, man. For everyone that have shall be given. You understand? If you earn, if you doing what you're supposed to do, you're gonna have more. But if you ain't doing nothing, you ain't got nothing, guess what? Whatever you have gonna be taken away. See what I'm saying? That's what happened to them with the pound. The ones that did the work, they're gonna be given. They're gonna be given more. Why? Because they're worthy. They're diligent. They're not lazy. They get off their ass and go do the work. That's what they do. They're doing the job that was assigned to them. They taking the penny and they increasing it. They're not giving excuses. They're faithful in little. And what does the Bible say? He that's get that scripture where it says, he that's faithful in little gonna be faithful in much. Dawada. This is important. This is a lesson right here that you have to know as an individual inside the ISUPK, inside the body of Christ. That's things you must do as far as your work and what the Lord has given you, because you are going. He couldn't say, "Well, look, I'm with them. I'm a ride his coattail off the one that got 10 pounds." He couldn't do that. He can't do that. I gave you your penny. What did you do with your penny? What did you do with your pound? I want to hear about his. I seen what he did. What about you? Where's your works? Go ahead, Dawada.
Sir. This is the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And
He does what?
He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much.
You see that? How you going? And this, you know, the crazy part about it? The crazy part about it is people who don't do as much work, who don't do nothing with little, they always think they deserve more. That amazes me. It always amazes me when it comes like, okay, let me get this straight. You want more, but you don't. You do little with less. The key to getting more is doing more with little, more with less. He that is faithful in the least is also faithful in much. So a lot of people believe, you know what, I would do this if I had this, if I had this, if I had that. No, you wouldn't. If I just had this, you know, if the Lord just gave me this, if the Lord just gave me this, I would be able to do it. No, you're lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to the Most High. You got to be faithful in the small things, brother, in order for you to be faithful when the Lord increases you. You understand? The Lord looks at what, because it's like anything. It's just going, the more you get, it's just going to magnify how incompetent you are. You can't handle the small things. What makes you think you can handle the big things? Christ understood something about consistency. Consistency is there when you have little or you have much. Keep going, Dawada.
And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much.
Come on, man. Listen now. Come on. That was that servant. Huh? That was that servant. He was unjust in 1 penny. What make you think he's gonna get 10?
Right.
He's gonna lose what he already had. You understand? Take me to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, my brother.
Kind of one concert. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1.
This is important. You understand? This is a bedrock scripture in the ISUPK. Bedrock. Faith. Let's get it.
Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Man, now, most people would say, man, how could you have substance of something that's hoped for and the evidence of things not seen? This is a spiritual concept. You understand? And this is how you know, because most people say, man, Christ ain't coming back. Right? What y'all doing this for, man? Black people ain't gonna never wake up. Hispanic, Latino people ain't gonna never wake up. Native Indian people never gonna wake up. If you have that mindset, guess what you're gonna do with that penny? You're gonna wrap it in a napkin. You have it, but you're not gonna occupy. You're not gonna get busy with it. It takes faith to get busy in this work. You understand? It takes faith. You understand? Faith is guess what? It's the substance of things hoped for. What are we hoping for? We're hoping for the kingdom of heaven. Huh? You have to have faith to believe in the thing you cannot see.
Right.
You understand? Believe in something you can't see. If you don't have that, guess what? You don't have the oil. Because in your mind, I'm only here until something bad happens. And then when you're surprised that that the nobleman showed up, that the bridegroom showed up. Now you want to borrow. You're getting closer to the end. Now you want to borrow somebody else's zeal. You want them. And let me tell you, let me tell you something, brothers. It's not your burden to put a crown on somebody else's head, brother. Not your burden to try to force faith on them, force zeal. You're going to burn yourself out. Trying to drag somebody to camp, trying to drag somebody to do their duty. Just let it go. Don't keep your oil. Don't lose your oil. Not in this time. Keep your oil. That person, let them go buy oil from those that sell. Let them get rerouted into the truth. Let them ask the Lord to increase their faith. You just make sure that you hold on to your oil. Don't keep pouring into someone who just exhausts you and don't really want to change. Once again, they want the marriage. Make no mistake about it. But they don't want the sacrifice. They don't want to occupy. They don't want to increase the truth. They like the status. You know what I'm saying? They like the recognition. They want that. They don't want the work. There's a difference. You understand? Take me to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 15. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 15. All right. All these things are important. You understand? Once again, you can't take credit for another man's pound. Can't do it. You understand? It's important. You understand? We're all in the truth. We all come here. We all get a penny. You better make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do with yours. Go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 15.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 15. Not boasting of things without our measure.
You see that? You ain't out here. You ain't supposed to be out here boasting of things without your measure. These things are outside your scope. You boasting of things. You know what I'm saying? That is, keep going.
That is of other men's labors.
You see that? You're going to have some people who want to come and they boasting of somebody else's labors. Where's yours? What have you done? What are you doing? Yeah, that's his penny. What you doing with yours? It's in a napkin. It's in a napkin. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be doing that, but you supposed to be keep going.
But having hope when your faith is increased.
See, when your faith is what? Increase. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to, guess what? You supposed to have your faith increase, man. You want to have the increase. Why? So you can do good works. You understand? Because you're going to have to give an account for what you done or what you haven't done. Keep going.
Sir. That we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly.
And listen to this. This is what's important. Once again, that word increased. You understand? The Most High, Christ, want an increase of what? The truth. Why do you think the scripture says the harvest is plenteous and the laborers are what?
Are few.
It's a whole bunch of people, you know, we see the harvest. Where the laborers at? Christ knew it. A lot of people ain't going to be up to this task. You understand? A lot of people ain't going to be up to this task, man. A lot of people is talk. And talk is cheap. It's cheaper than a pound.
Cheaper than a napkin.
The water, dog. Hold on, let me hit this again. It's cheaper. I gotta let it refresh. I'm about to hit it again. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper than a napkin. You understand? This is where it's headed. We want to be enlarged by you. You want the truth. We want to enlarge the truth according to our rule abundantly. That's what it's about. That's how you build the truth. That's what it's about being in the ISUPK. It's about enlarging. What do you bring, brother? This is your skill? Okay, use that skill. Do you understand? To increase the penny. What do you bring, sister? Use that skill. These are things that we supposed to do to what? Increase. You ain't just supposed to be sitting around idle. You understand? You out here sitting around idle and ain't doing nothing for the truth. You're actually more of a burden to us.
Right.
Because guess what? We got to keep giving you all.
Right.
We got to just keep giving you all the time. You never really do what you're supposed to do. And then now I got to sit here and convince you that Christ is black after you've been in class for 2 years. That's too much. You will burn out. There's certain people you cannot pour into. They will gaslight you. You cannot pour into certain people. Hold on to your oil. They have a lamp. They have something to hold their oil. Let them go buy from those that sell. You understand? They have to do their job. All right. What verse we was on, Dawada?
We just finished 2 Corinthians 10 and 15.
Take me to verse 16.
Verse 16. To preach the gospel in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's line of things made ready to our hand.
You see that? You see that? What are they telling you, man? You can't take credit for someone else's work.
Right.
Your job is to use that motivation to increase yours. You to preach the gospel in regions beyond. And that's what you do when you go into different cities, when you go into different countries. To preach this truth, man. To teach. And not to be boasting in another man's line of things. You understand? You supposed to be sitting there and building off of what the men before you laid down. Using it as a way to increase. You understand? Increase the truth. Increase the knowledge of the Most High. That's what your job is that's what you're supposed to be doing. You got a lot of people that do that. You understand? But you can't fool somebody who understands the truth. You can't fool somebody who directly, you know what I'm saying, that didn't forget about it, that didn't seen it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see this in the truth.
Right.
And how do you know you're going to see it in the truth? Because we read it in 2 Corinthians. Paul saw it. You think we ain't going to see it? You think I ain't going to see it? You think other brothers ain't going to see it? You think Commander General Hunter don't see it? He's hearing all that. Yeah, you boasted on this person's work. What have you done in the last year? Other than just take other people's oil. Need more people to give you oil. More people to convince you to stay in the truth. Why do I got to convince you for your salvation? Should be enough for me just to teach you, and you should want it after a while. You're going to have to distinguish between the two, brothers. You're going to have to distinguish between those who want it and those who don't. The ones that want it, you ain't going to have to keep giving them oil. The ones that don't want it, they will just drain you and drain you and drain you until you miss the marriage. And my advice to you in this class is to hold on to your oil. Don't give it to a person who's not prepared to do what they're supposed to do. Take me to Romans chapter 11, verse 13, my brother.
The book of Romans chapter 11, verse 13. For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office.
And listen what Paul said, man. Paul, and why did he do, and listen, Paul, once again, the apostle of the Gentiles, what? He was out teaching the brothers and sisters outside the commonwealth of Israel. Right? Teaching them the truth, reintroducing them to their God, their culture. You understand, their livelihood, according to the Bible. And he said, I magnify mine office. What does it mean? Look up the word magnify. Dawada. And see, we got to be in the spirit. We got to see how Paul operated. That's important. You know what I'm saying? He set up those seven schools that talked about in Revelation on the candlestick because of the work he did, man. Paul was getting busy. Paul was locked up and still writing and still teaching. He was getting busy. He ain't let nothing stop him.
Right.
You understand? He didn't make no excuse. You understand? He didn't say, I need some of your oil. He didn't sit there and say that. So he's saying, I magnify my office. What does it mean to magnify, Dawada?
The first definition means make something appear larger than it is, especially with a lens or microscope. And the second one means to extol or to glorify.
Come on, man. He glorified his office. Why? Now let's see, why was he doing it? Why did he glorify his office? Come on.
Verse 14, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them.
That's what he was trying to do. He's doing that to provoke you. Provoke those which are his flesh, which is who? Israelites, that he might save some of them. You understand?
Come on, sir.
He's trying to say, look, I'm magnifying my office. It's basically saying, put more oil in your lamp. Increase your faith. Ask the Lord to increase your faith. Increase your zeal. To provoke. Look up the word provoke and look up the word emulation. Dawada. Look up the word provoke. So he's trying to tell him, man, he's trying to provoke them to emulation.
Provoke means try to make a person or an animal angry or annoyed. He was trying to provoke me into a fight. So to make a person, so let me see. Let's do the Webster's. Webster's dictionary says to call forth, to stir up purposely.
There you go. He did this on purpose to stir up.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this for a reason. Paul was strategic in the way he taught. He magnified his office, right, to emulation, to provoke them to emulation. What does that mean?
And emulation definition, ambition or endeavor to equal or excel others.
You see that? He wanted them to what? To emulate what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, to provoke them so they can do what? Increase the truth.
Excel.
Paul was one brother. So he's trying to provoke them to emulation. So what? That it might save some of them. Right. How will it do that? Through work. You understand? He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Endurance. You need endurance. How do you have endurance? You need extra oil.
Right.
You need extra zeal. You need extra faith. That's why they asked Christ to increase our faith. Because we in hard times. We in uncertain times. This world is falling apart just the way Christ said it would before he returned. And the Israelites, in the Bible, quote unquote, the saints, they will be going through things.
Right.
Things that will make them just want to give up. Paul is trying to let them know, I'm provoking you. I magnify my office, man. And how do you magnify your office? More what? Work. More work. You can't be lazy in this truth. You think you can come here and you can just be lazy and not do anything and just, say Kwam Yashala, you got another thing coming. How you gonna say Kwam Yashala and you always sitting down?
Right.
How you gonna say Rise Israel and you won't even get up? Who you fooling? Because you ain't fooling me. That's for damn sure. What verse we on, David?
Sir, we just finished Romans 11 and 14.
11 and 14. Okay, take me to Galatians chapter 6. Let's start at verse 2.
Sir.
And I remember, oh man, this is so heavy. General Muhammad has a phrase where he says, some are baptized for a bed. You got some people who will only come into the truth because we can give them a place to stay. They'll only come into truth because we can give them a plate of food. They'll only come into truth because I guess that they believe they can find a wife or a husband. They only come into truth for only personal and selfish reasons because they believe that this just benefits them and they don't have any sacrifice to do when it comes to the truth. I got news for you. You're wrong. You can't leech off the truth. The truth is something you need, that you get, that helps you, and it's something that you have to increase. You can't be like the man that had the penny and wrap it up in a napkin and then keep it for yourself. You can't do that. You have to come here to do what? To increase what you have been given. You have to come here to increase what? What the Lord has given you, which is the truth. But you can't do that if you're only concerned about yourself. You understand? At the same time, there's two types of brothers. There's one that's going to come in because we can't give him a place to stay. And guess what he's going to do? When he get on his feet and he's doing what he's supposed, he's going to be in class until Christ returns. That's the kind of brother you help. And then there's some, they're only going to be here until they got enough money to go get high again. You understand? And that person you can't give your all to. Some people is going to be here until they find out they can't get drunk anymore. And that person you can't give your all to. You understand? Some people are going to be here until they realize they can't get high anymore. And it's not your job to keep pouring the oil into their lamp to say, brother, please don't get high. Please don't get high. That you're going to pour that oil in their lamp and they're going to get light and they're going to light that blunt that's in their mouth with that oil in their lamp. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Why? Because they don't believe in the truth. They like the benefits of it. They like the idea of, how we operate and so forth, and the rank, the status, the clothes. But when it comes to the work, they don't have that in them. And that person you cannot keep pouring oil into. You understand? Because a person that's trying to work, they're gonna already have their oil. I got the lamp, I get enough oil to make sure that I have enough to endure, to go through the hard times, to go through the uncertain times for this truth. You understand? To have enough to endure until the end. Go ahead, Dawada. You get that scripture, my brother.
What kind, sir? It's the book of Galatians. It's like Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Now, I'm going to show you something. Because right here it says to bear each other's burden. But there's a difference. Hold this. Look, y'all read this part again.
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Go to verse 5.
It's like verse 5. Verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden.
Now, go back to verse 2. Read verse 2 again.
Time, sir.
Now, y'all just heard that. Now, you see, one is saying, bear one of each other's burden. Now, is that a contradictory thing? I'm about to show you. Is this contradictory, or is the Lord is trying to show you something with this? Read this again, Dawada.
Verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Now, go back to verse 5 again.
Verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden.
Now, you see that? Now, we're going to break this thing down. Go back to verse 2. This burden here is a difference from what we just read in verse 5.
Down to what kind, sir?
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. This burden, bearing each other's burden, is encouragement. This is the type of burden you're supposed to bear for a brother who's working, who's doing the work. You understand? You're supposed to bear his burden. Why? Because life in this truth can be difficult.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Life in this truth is difficult. You're gonna go through persecution. You're gonna be hated. All these things. We being encouraging and teaching this brother why? To bear his burdens. We bearing each other's burden. Why? Because we're doing the work. We're fulfilling the law of Christ. So this brother deserves to for us to bear each other's burden because they are active. You understand? They're carrying their burden. They just need help. That's what now this type of brother is the one you supposed to bear his burden because he's doing the work. You understand? Go to verse 3.
Verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
And that's another thing too. Don't think you more than what you are. That's another thing. The Bible say knowledge puffeth up. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you know everything. Don't think you should walk around here like you just know everything. You understand? You think you somebody. For a man think he's something, and when he's nothing, you deceiving yourself. You understand? Don't be foolish. Keep going.
Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work.
Here we go. Let every man prove everybody else somebody else work.
His own work.
Let every man prove his own work. So you're not going to gaslight us tonight. You're not going to gaslight the UPK. You're going to have to prove your own work. You understand? You're going to have to prove your own work. The generals prove their own work. The captains prove their own work. Officers prove their own work. Troopers prove their own work. Every man has, you can't hide behind somebody else's work. That's equivalent of you taking a penny, right, and wrapping it in a napkin. That's equivalent of you having a lamp and trying to use somebody else's oil. That's equivalent of that. You got to prove your own work. Notice it says work, not opinions, not philosophies. Work. Actual things you do that get things done. Read it again, Dawada.
Verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another.
You see that? You got to, once again, you got to be persuaded in your own mind. You know, it ain't nothing better than step back and say, that's my work. Glory be to the Most High. But I took a part. I did that. I worked on getting that done. You're going to rejoice in yourself alone. You understand? That's what you're supposed to do. Prove your work. Don't be lazy. You understand? Don't be lazy, man. Be active. Occupy. Keep going.
Verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden.
You hear that? Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. The same way every man gonna bear his own burden, every man has to be convinced in his own mind, his own heart. Every man has to give an account. Every man has to have his own oil. Faith. Zeal. You need that. You can't use someone else's. You understand? If you can use someone else's to get to the kingdom, guess what? It'll be a whole bunch of people doing that.
Right.
You understand? You better co-sign your own faith. You better co-sign your own zeal. Better make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Commander Julian Hunter then taught us. He done showed us this truth. He done laid out the scriptures. General Muhammad, the generals, they done taught us these things, man. Don't get lazy with it now. You understand? Take me to Luke chapter 14, verse 27. We're going to wrap it up with this, man. You understand? Prove your own work. Bear your own burdens. Be a soldier. Be a man. That's what you're supposed to do. And listen, we're going to end it with what Christ said, man. Let Christ say it. Christ said it better than all.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 27. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
You see that? Christ laid it out plain. Whosoever should not bear his cross. We all got a cross we got to bear. You got to bear your cross. You want someone else to bear the cross for you? See, a lot of people, you know what Christians think? Christ nailed it to the cross. Christ bared Christ. You're not going to hide behind Christ bearing his cross. He did it for the nation. But guess what? If you're going to be his disciple, you got to bear your cross and come after him. the same way he did. You have to follow and do what Christ did. You understand? Sometimes, and listen, I know a lot of people don't understand, but sometimes you got to ruffle some feathers for that bird to fly. And that's my intention. See through the book BS. You got to bear your cross. You got to do the same thing that men done before you. You understand? Where's the scripture where it said, work out your own salvation? You understand? Like, this is serious, man. You got to understand this thing, man. Like, this ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying?
The book of Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
Right. Meaning, like, he's saying that, look, you've been diligent. Once again, you've been diligent while I was here, and you've been diligent while I'm absent. Keep going.
Work out your own salvation.
Hold on. Let's slow down, Dawah. Work out. Let somebody work out your salvation. Is that what that's saying, Dawah?
La, sir. It says work out your own salvation.
You understand? Your own salvation. You have to work. How do you work it out? By being persuaded in your own mind. At some point, you have to make up your mind.
Right.
You understand? You got to be cold or hot. You cannot be lukewarm. You can't be out here leeching off somebody else's oil, somebody else's zeal, somebody else's work, somebody else's faith. Where is yours? Are you working out your own salvation? That's the question. And why is that important? Because one day it just may be you. You may be, you, who knows? You just may be in a city and it's only you. Then what? What you gonna do now? You gotta look in the mirror. You gotta really say, am I persuaded in my own mind? Am I willing to go all the way? Work out your own salvation with what, Dawah?
With fear and trembling.
Fear and trembling. You understand? That's why it's important, man. So once again, even though we're in the truth and we are in the ISUPK, there's individual responsibility and accountability that you have to play a part in this nation, in the collective. That's how this works. Everybody has a job to do, and everybody will give an account for their work, for their deeds. You understand? So once again, don't let anybody gaslight you into believing if you just poured more into them that they will be in the truth. When they're going to get high tonight.
Right.
When they're going to smoke crack tonight. You understand? When they're going to go get drunk again tonight. And then they want to call you and say, if only you believed in me. Huh? They want to make it your burden now. You know what I'm saying? If only, if only General Muhammad would have taught that class with a little bit more care and love, I wouldn't be in this shape. Huh? If only you, if only you was just to say, we can be in a unity camp and all this, then I would come in and I would serve the Lord. No. It don't work like that. You have to work out your own salvation. You have to go in and you have to make sure you have enough oil, man. You're not going to gaslight the UPK to making us feel like you miss your salvation because of something that we did. No. We're doing our job. We've given you the truth. We told you what thus saith the Lord. You understand? We didn't gaslight you. You just didn't have enough oil. You understand? So with that, once again, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand? ISUPK, we're not associated or affiliated with no other Hebrew Israelite group on the planet. We stand behind that. You understand? We're going to continue to push the truth. We're going to continue to have oil. And we're going to continue to keep our lamps trimmed. Right? We're going to continue to increase our penny, what the Lord has given us. We're going to multiply it tenfold. Lord, allow 100-fold. That's what we're going to do. And guess what? Every man going to have to put in his work. Every man got a task that he has to do. You understand? That's what we're going to do. Dawadah, Priest and Officer Dawadah, I'd like to thank you for being on the class with me, the water tonight, for hooking this class up. I want to say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dawadah.
I said no sweat, sir.
And right, and I want to salute all. I want to give a shout out to all the brothers and sisters that tuned into the class. And I hope you were edified on what we brought out. You know what I'm saying? And I want to salute all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shema, Shabakatham. I'm sorry, Salak. I'm sorry, Dawadah. Go ahead.
No, Yahweh, Shema, Shabakatham.
You know what I'm saying? And to all the sisters out there, Shalom, Yahweh, Shema, Thumba, Shema, Shah. And once again, don't let misery gaslight you. Shalom, Israel.
Good night. Yeah, bitch. You already know who it is. They say the man with the 45, he beat with the man with the rifle, huh? Man, it ain't about what sword you got, it's about the man with the sword, you dumb fuck. Get your shit together. Hey, hey, war. Killer be kid, boy, I'm a menace. I call it down, but it's still in me. Tool at your head, boy, like a dentist. These boys rainbow, yeah, they feel me. How can I show love to my enemy? I know these boys out trying to get me. It's a man down, but it ain't me. War. Killer be kid, boy, life is war. Come around the corner and I'm looking slow. I'm talking my prayer like it up close. I bring their heads off with the sword. Bring that bitch back to the Lord. I bring that bitch back to the Lord. Yeah, I bring that bitch back to the Where's the bitches? I got my take up like I'm sick. Yeah, I took the decision. I made my mind up like I'm sleeping. Hey, I'm 15, yeah. I caused a commotion. My tit looking miss like new potion. She got a demotion. Rub on her, I need some lotion. I stroke on her ocean slow motion. Now I'm exploding. I caused a collision. I'm too high like foreign train mission. Yeah, I'm sipping. I see your motherfucking vision. These boys keep talking that bitch and I pull up like pitches. Like, where the bread and understand that I slap on the top of my enemies. Yeah, I already said that. Halo is head, yeah, but don't take my kindness for weakness. Yeah, I get it, I got it. I'm possible. I'm my own pilot. I don't need no stylist. Roll up on me and you drop it. We can do the straight hand like I'm coming. I mean, I got that body hot lava. It's lava. My silence a profit. Red out and stocking. Just know I've been under something. I look at you, boy. You ain't nothing. I be like, war. Killer be kid, boy. I'm a menace. I call it down, but it's still in me. Tool at your head, boy, like a dentist. These boys rainbow, yeah, they feel me. How can I show love to my enemy? I know these boys out trying to get me. It's a man down, but it ain't me. War. Killer be kid, boy. Life is war. Come around the corner and I'm like a slow. I'm talking my prayer like it up close. I bring their heads off with the sword. Bring that bitch back to the Lord. I bring that bitch back to the Lord. Yeah, I bring that bitch back to the She asked me what I do. I'm always busy. I say I'm getting my weight up, obesity. She wanna come around and wanna visit. She talking through a pussy on. Listen, I'm all black. Counting racks. 223, keep that AR on my lap. I'm riding through Cracker Village full of tech. but they don't want no fucking smoke, so I'll relax, yeah. I take a nap, bitch, you looking sad. You may not see me, but my voice on every track, yeah. Just like a tag, bitch, your bitch a has been. When in the world, I stepped on it like a Mac, yeah. You